ಅದನ್ನ ನೀರಿಂದು ಮುಚ್ಚಳ ತೆಗೆದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀರಿಟ್ಟಿರಲಿ, ನನಗೆ ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀರಿಲ್ಲ.
ನೀರು
Artyaka, you can start now.
Namaskara. Welcome to all. Visatta kandotta dalalu yaram suloyanam chanda samanatundam gonajiyam champaya puppasoham tam gommatesam paramanicham. This is a very old Prakrit shloka which I narrated, which praises the Lord Gommateshwara. On the auspicious day of the anniversary of 20th century Prathamacharya, Sri Shanti Sagara Muni Maharaj, it gives us immense pleasure and a sense of gratitude to launch website on Jain Epigraphy. This event has a gallery of knowledge bank of people who have devoted their lives to Jain religion, philosophy, and way of life. This 1 hour program will give you a sneak peek into what Jain epigraphy and history means. This one-of-a-kind program is the need of the hour, as everything which has to reach the younger generation has to take the form of an online portal. So here we are to seek the blessings of the Manastamba, the pillar or the epitome of knowledge and spiritual attainment, Swasti Shri Charukirti Bhattaraka Mahaswamiji of Shravanabelagula. He has not only sent his blessings, but also has wished success to this event. So, what does epigraphy mean? To a lay person, it's a very difficult term. It means it's of course an ancient Greek word. It's a study of inscriptions. It's a science of identifying graphemes, clarifying their meanings, classifying their uses according to the dates and cultural contexts. Epigrapher or epigraphist, he is reconstructing, dating, translating, and putting them in relevant circumstances. Often, history and epigraphy are intervened and are practiced by a single person. Jain Epigraphy website, it's an online library, is unique and one of its kind. The whole idea is to electronically document all the Jain epigraphy information from across India to facilitate academic community of students and researchers. This will also help general public across the world to easily access under one roof and to read and understand the importance of Jainism. Without any delay, let's start with the online epigraphy website library launch ceremony. Oh, wait, we have a surprise for all of you. In Jain terminology, you've heard the word Ratnatraya. Ratnatraya, right? Yes, we have another Ratna with us today. That is Karnataka Ratna. None other than Padma Vibhushana, Dr. Virendra Hegedeji himself. As you are all aware of his illustrious background of Dharmasthala and the kind of service they are offering. Dr. Virendra Hegede, also known as the walking God, Nadadaduva Devaru, his words and wisdom bear such weightage.
It's an honor to have him with us today. Dr. Virendra Hegde has with him the treasure of gold, not in the worldly means, but his wife named Hemavati. Having Hema, this meaning gold. He has this Prabhavali around him, the aura of Hemavati, who herself is a very well-read scholar, a writer, and a columnist. So we welcome both of our distinguished guests to this function event, and bless us and enjoy the intellectual session, which is going to unfold very soon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Naveen Sankigata. As you all know, the meaning of Naveen is something new. It is Anvartanama for his name Naveen. He's the mastermind behind all this. I don't know how many sleepless nights he has had as our group keeps messaging him to ask, clarifying something, as he is in the UK and we all members are in India. So we not cut his doors all the time, and not realizing the time zone thing. He is Navanovonvesha Shalini, always thinking about something new to update himself and to connect to the new generation. We need more and more such selfless people like Naveen. Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you.
So without much ado, I would like to introduce our panelists today for the live streaming. Acharya Professor Hampa Nagarajaya ji, Dr. S.C. Ramesh, Dr. Peter Fugel, and Dr. Pietro Balsove. Before I invite the keynote address speaker, I have the honor to read the message sent by the senior international scholar, Dr. Padmanabha Jainiji. Dear Hampana, I'll be happy if you could read this message at the conference. I'm truly honored that I have this opportunity to show my gratitude to you all on behalf of the scholars in the West, including Nalini Balbir, Paul Dundas, Jayendra Soni, and many more others in Europe. I'm now 96 and I have no ability to participate in this gathering, but I'm very happy, if not for anything, but for my age, to truly send my heartful good wishes with warm regards, Padmanabhaji. So we are indeed honored to get this message from you, sir. Now, to start the session, the keynote address, Professor Hampa Nagarajaya, better known as Acharya Hampana, is a treasure trove of knowledge. He has more than 80 publications to his credit. He is a national and internationally acclaimed scholar. He is also the main source of inspiration to create this website. Over to Acharya Hampana.
Let me begin with the illustrious Akalanka Acharya's verse from his work, the Pramana Sangraha. Srimad Paramagambhira Statvad Amoghala Diyat Trilokya Nathasya Shasanam Dinashasanam. May the doctrine of Jina be victorious, the doctrine of the Lord of three worlds, the unfailing characteristic of which is the glorious and most profound Sadvada, the doctrine of qualified assertion. My young friend, Mr. Naveen Sankigata, working in London, is always fraught with new ideas. One fine morning, he telephoned and said, Eureka, Eureka. I could find out from his voice that he was excited. I asked him about his new idea. He said, Guruji, let us start a website on Jain Epigraphy. I told him, it is a difficult task. Let some organization do it. We will extend required cooperation. The pragmatist Naveen was adamant and retorted, "No, Guruji, we should launch a new website on the Jaina epigraphy. If we do not do it, who will? If not now, when?" Well, the more I contemplated, the more I was convinced and found it relevant and meaningful. The idea was set into motion. A team of talented epigraphists, Aparna Hanje, Ravikumar Navilgunda, website architect Amogha Jain, technical consultant Viral Doshi, artist Jinendra, coordinator Spurti Jain, and many others, brimming with enthusiasm and expertise in the field, joined it. Paramapujya Swastish Tarukirti Bhattarakji blessed and encouraged us to go ahead with the plan and project. Epigraphy experts were excited with the idea and encouraged us to take a leap forward. Nirmal Kumar Sethji, President Bharatvarshiya Digambar Jain Mahasabha, and respected Dilip Mehtaji, they have all extended unconditional support. I am pleased to announce many international organizations have willingly come forward to work with us. Jaina epigraphs are noticed from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. They are a treasure trove and invaluable for the study and reconstruction of Indian and regional history, culture, and literature. In the 19th century, scholars bestowed more interest in the field of epigraphy. Many informative and valuable Jaina inscriptions with original text and notes were published in Epigraphia Indica, Epigraphia Karnataka, Epigraphia Andhrica, South Indian inscriptions, Indian antiquary, and so on. Similarly, some devoted scholars interested in preserving Jaina inscriptions had published anthologies in different languages and in different states. The celebrated scholar B.L. Rice, a pioneer in the field of epigraphy in Karnataka, had published 12 volumes of Epigraphia Karnataka, and the volume 2 was devoted to the inscriptions of Shravana Belagola. Later, illustrious scholar R. Narasimhachar revised the volumes by including all the newly discovered inscriptions. Subsequently, revising the volumes, the Institute of Kannada Studies, University of Mysore, where Manjunath is the present director, has so far published 16 volumes. Let me mention some important attempts on the subject. Some dedicated epigraphy experts in Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Rajasthan published a valuable collection of Jaina inscriptions. Manik Chand Digambara Jaina Granthamala and Bharatiya Jnanapith, they published the Jaina Shilalekha Sangrah, collection of Jaina epigraphs in 5 parts, edited by Hiralal Jain, Pandit Vijayamurthy, and Vidyadhar Jorakpur. The early Tamil epigraphy by Airavatan Mahadevan deals with the inscriptions from 3rd century BC to the 6th century AD. The work has established that 85 among 89 ancient Tamil inscriptions belong to Jainism. The volume Jaina Inscriptions in Tamil Nadu, edited by Ekambaranathan and Shivaprakasham, has methodically recorded brief information about 600 Jaina inscriptions found in Tamil Nadu. Ghanta Jawaharlal's book, Jainism in Andhra, as depicted in inscriptions, contains important Jain inscriptions with summary. Hampana's book, The Jaina corpus of Coppola inscriptions X-rayed contains about 64 new inscriptions which belong to the period of early Gangas and the Rashtrakutas. K.R. Ganesh book, Andhra Pradeshada Kannada Shasanagalu has details of about 125 Jaina records. Jain Upadhyay's book, Maharashtra Kannada Shasanagalu, narrates that most of the inscriptions discovered in Nanded and Latur district are full of Jaina material. In Rajasthan, the number of early Jaina epigraphs are around 55, which are in Prakrit and Sanskrit. P.V. Desai's Jainism in South India and some Jaina epigraphs, B.A. Salitaro's Medieval Jainism, and S. Shettar's works on Shravanabelgula inscriptions are really invaluable. Now, the Kannada University Hampi has published 5 beautiful volumes covering almost all the so far extant 2000 Jaina inscriptions in Karnataka. The above broad survey is to show the path traversed and to suggest that we have models to emulate and materials to study. Whatever was discovered by our early pioneers in the field is to be preserved to start with. The infrastructure so well created by early scholars with much devotion is like our ancestors' property. However, full text of nearly 1/4 of the total inscriptions discovered so far has not been published and is suffocating in the dark rooms of the epigraphy offices of government. The invaluable material published earlier is neither easily accessible nor properly preserved. The early scholars were not equipped with amenities that we have today. Yet, they have rendered human service. Today, we have more facilities and therefore more responsibility of doing better work. Methodical and coordinated work has remained a desideratum. Contemplating on the need for such a forum, we have launched a web under the banner of Jaina Epigraphy. The forum is a dream come true of many scholars working in the field of inscriptions. The scope of this channel is unlimited and it is a hold-all. The broad-based forum is not confined to any particular language or script or region. It is multilingual, open for contribution by young and old in the language in which they are comfortable. Many youngsters working in the field were in search of a common platform for exchange of latest discoveries and for publishing new material. We earnestly hope this will provide a proper platform for unlocking the hidden valuable wealth of Jaina epigraphy. Jaina Epigraphy website is an online library. Epigraphy website is to electronically document all the Jaina inscriptional information from across India, facilitate academic community for their studies and research, and also to help the general public across the world to read and understand the importance of Jaina epigraphy. Now and then, we hear about the discovery of new inscriptions. M.S. Krishnamurthy's excavations at Talakad has again confirmed that the place was flourishing Jaina center from early medieval period. Recently, on the outskirts of Pune, one of the earliest Jaina inscriptions in Prakrit and in Brahmi characters was discovered by Deccan College, Pune. It could be dated to the 2nd century BCE. This suggests that there is scope for further fieldwork and research. Since The information and inscriptions are scattered. Coordinated effort is the need of the hour. If the extant material is assembled, sorted, and analyzed, it will provide a panorama of Jaina epigraphy. When once the corpus of Jaina inscriptions is ready, it will open the gates for research scholars to unearth its depth and dimension. Whatever and wherever new inscription is discovered that could be added and compared with a similar corroborative material in the web, this will be an ongoing process. It is through the corpus of Jaina inscriptions that we learn Queen Chennabhaira Devi ruled for an uninterrupted period of 50 years. She exported pepper and spices to European countries and earned the title Queen of Black Pepper. Dana Chintamani Atimabe, who commissioned 1,501 temples,
Yes, okay.
created jobs for thousands of laborers and skilled artists. Queen Abaka of Ullala bravely defeated foreign armada and became a symbol of patriotism. Jaina women constructed tanks for the farmers to help irrigation. They built roadside charitable houses for the travelers and distributed buttermilk and water freely. They distributed food, medicine, and shelter to the distressed. They promoted arts and literature. The brave warriors fought for their country and encouraged all languages and all religions as their own. Jaina men were loyal to their rulers and cordial to the people. They were part and parcel of the mainstream and maintained peace and harmony. Jaina society has sustained all atrocities, but they have thrived in adversity and upheld non-violence. In brief, Jaina epigraphs encompass their long journey of over 2 millennia. This website is complementary and not competitive to any existing websites. We extend cooperation and seek cooperation. In the first stage, we started to document Kannada Jaina epigraphy and then thought of expanding it as Pan India Jaina epigraphy. Though English is a common link language, all vernacular languages enjoy equal status in the website, and it is open book and freely accessible to the interested across the world. It is unfortunate that history books have marginalized valuable Jaina material. For instance, the inscriptions of the Ay dynasty of 9th century in Kerala speak about their encouragement to Jainism. But local books on history have ignored the importance of these records. This website will help scholars to search for relevant information and set things straight. In addition to that, this website proffers a common platform for epigraphy experts and historians to know the latest discoveries, to exchange views, and review the matter in the light of cross references. We hear frequently how youngsters interested in the field, both professionals and amateur, are discovering new inscriptions in different parts. This web is open for them to present and publish their new findings and for follow-up discussions. The wheel of Jaina epigraphy is set to motion. Like Dharma Chakra, it has started its journey and will not stop. It has a beginning and will continue non-stop with added men and material, with vigor and vitality. Let us move together by sharing discoveries and enlarging circle. Thanks for patience. Jiyat Shasanam Jina Shasanam.
Thank you, Acharya, Professor Hampanarji. Jiyat Shasanam Jina Shasanam. Yes, sir. As you said, it is a Dharma Chakra. Now it is in motion, and definitely it has to take many heads together and scholars together to keep it rolling. Now I would like to invite Padma Bhushana, Dr. Virendra Hegadeji, who has patronized and commissioned so many scholars, writers, artists, musicians to bless us and say a few words, please.
It's a great honor for me and my wife Hemavati to join this video conference, and I'm very proud to have Acharya Hampana's. I heard just him, and I'm very proud that he was my teacher about 50 years back. And I owe him so much for all his contribution to growth and development of our beautiful library in Dharmasthala. I feel it's an honor given to me because I have a library collected more than 6,000 manuscripts from all over Karnataka and in different parts of the country. And now this subject of Jain Epigraphy is a relevant subject which has to be popularized in the world. I'm also happy that this is the birthday, as per English letters, of Shanti Sagarji Muni Maharaj, who was embodiment of Jain principles, and he was the embodiment of a Muni, is a concept of a Muni. So I would say that a lot has been done in Karnataka on this epigraphy, especially Fleet and Rice. I'm happy that his grandson is joining us in today's this video conference. And I only feel that, as said by Dr. Hampana, we have to more and more collect such documents which have been vanishing very fast in modernity. We have found that many the inscriptions and the informations are buried under the new developmental activities, and we are here and there we hear that while digging for a toilet or a construction of a building, we found some inscriptions, or we found some document, old statues, or accidentally we got it, and then if it is handed over to scholars for study, it becomes a study matter, otherwise it becomes a monument. So I am very happy that this effort has been started, and so today I find that the history of Indian culture, like Shukracharya's Shukraniti Satra, which says that a lot of studies have been done in Brahmi Lipi and other lipis. So it's a worldwide concept, and I thank all the British scholars who visited India, other German scholars who visited India, which Indians could not do. They started the foundation of study of all these epigraphies, and we have many proud exposures to make to the world that about our ancient history, our knowledge, our the strength we had in the past days. Only one suggestion I wish to make, that in the present day, last 100 years, I find that no such inscriptions are made in any places. Even when I visit some important functions and important programs, I ask them, why don't you inscribe some information about the activity that you have done? So it is said that they say, well, there is modern information procedure facilities which will document. I say, no, you should inscribe somewhere that what you have done, why you have done, what has happened. We have inscribed in our Bahubali statue in Dharmasthala, who started it, why it was started, who was a sculptor, how it, the first, second, third Mahamastakabhishekas were done, so that it can be a matter of study for the future generations. So I'm very proud to participate in this discussions, and I would like to hear more than talk. So I honor Dr. Hampana for his beautiful rendering, and I wish that this will be. I also congratulate Naveen for this promotion of these activities. Congratulations. God bless you. Continue this good work. Keep motivating Hampanaji to provoke him more and more and more. You will get more and more good out of it. God bless you.
Thank you.
Right. Next.
Sorry, but you are can you please unmute?
Thank you, Hegdeji, for your kind words. And as we come to Dharmasthala, that's the one place we all go is the museum, Manjusha Museum, where you have preserved each and everything our heritage and our culture offers. So that is a great inspiration. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Now it's a great honor to invite scholar Dr. Peter Flugel, Chair, Center of Jaina Studies, Professor of Study of Religious and Philosophy, Department of History, Religion and Philosophy, School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. Sir, whenever we meet, we have met up Peter Frugalji in India as well as in London and France. So it's always a pleasure to interact with you, sir. Please, over to you, Professor Peter Flugel.
Am I supposed to say something? I can hardly hear what you have been saying, but I heard two words.
Yes, sir. You have to. Hello, are you able to hear me now?
A little bit, yes.
Peter, we can hear you completely. You please go ahead and speak.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be part of this function, and I'm extremely pleased that this project is going ahead, inspired by Hampanaji and his affiliates. And I think this is the future of Jaina studies, to use digital technology to disseminate the knowledge throughout the world. And databases are, I think, the essence. The one thing I would like to request, the photographs of the inscriptions should be clear. Otherwise, they are not much use, except that we have the address of the inscriptions and we learn about new things. But I think it's a wonderful venture, and I can only commend it to everyone, and I hope it will receive a lot of support.
Point noted, Peter. Thank you very much.
Now I request Dr. S.C. Ramesh, Vice Chancellor, Kannada University. He is an educationalist, a folklore specialist, and an academician. The university has published recently 5 gigantic volumes on Jainism. Over to you, sir. Dr. S.C. Ramesh, Vice Chancellor, Kannada University.
Namaskar. It's my present duty to bid you all a genial welcome and pleasure to speak at the Jain Epigraphy online library launch event. I am Dr. S.C. Ramesh, Vice Chancellor of Kannada University, Hampi. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to moderator Mrs. Aruthi, keynote speaker Dr. Acharya Hampana, chief guest Mr. Douglas Rice, great grandson of B.L. Rice, Professor Padmanabha Jain, Sanmanya Dr. Nadoja Padmabhushana, Dr. Virendra Hegde, Dharmasthala, Srimati Hemavati V. Hegde, Dharmasthala, Speaker Peter Kogel, University of London, Piotr Balsowicz, University of Warsaw, Poland. Kannada University near Hampi, an historical place recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage. Hampi is an important historical site belonging to Vijayanagara Kingdom and situated in Hospet Taluk of Bellary district. The very name Hampi evokes mythological and historical memories. Historically, this place has been the of many religions: Buddhism, Jainism, Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Islam, and many popular religious cults. The Vijayanagara kingdom, which originated here and renowned over most part of South India for more than Vijayanagara kingdom has also been the icon of Kannada identity and has led the Karnataka unification movement, symbolically representing unified Karnataka. Kannada University, as established at 1991, is a unique institution, does not have a regional jurisdiction unlike other universities, cater to the educational needs of a particular region. Even its research program, the disciplinary boundaries to create new ground in knowledge. Kannada University had the intention of exhibiting unique university, unique in terms of purpose, in terms of language, in definition of knowledge, and in terms of jurisdiction. The primary objective of the university is to conduct multidisciplinary and disciplinary research on various aspects of Karnataka and Kannada. The publication department of the university is called as Prasaranga. The main area of concentration of is to promote knowledge about Kannada culture and supporting fields. That is where it has published books, different finds like language, literature, culture, fine arts, history, archaeology, Dravidian studies, epigraphy, manuscript, lexicography, encyclopedia, science, medicine, studies, folklore studies, development studies, translation studies, women studies, and studies, etc. The Kannada University has published more than 1,500 books belongs to where the Prasaranga brings out research journals and periodicals also. Being a research originated university, all the faculty members doing different research projects. Most of these research projects and similar seminar papers of various are published in book form by Prasaranga. Apart from the Prasaranga, the research projects and valuable writings of other eminent scholars. We are now that B.L. Rice is father of Karnataka, have published volumes Epigraphy of Karnataka, which consists a set of on epigraphy of South Karnataka and also continuous translation of about inscripts. As a Vice Chancellor, I am very happy to announce that Kannada University Hampi 5 volumes of Jain Epigraphy, and these 5 volumes define almost all the extended inscription in the state. This is this is for this is for the this is for the first time we are bringing out all the inscription edited in 5 volumes by Chief Editor Devarakonda Reddy, Technical Rajshekara, and published by H.D. Prashanta, Director of Prasarang. Mainly, this will be boon for all the research scholars working in a field epigraphy, as it provides in information in people across the national and international wide. Apart from that, a bonus, we also going to publish Hindi translation of all these 2000 Jain inscription translated by T.R. Jodhatti, and the first volume is already. Simultaneously, we are bringing English translation, but it does not to be original text as Hindi, but it consists summary of all 2000 inscription. That is summary of 5 volumes, and the translation is already completed by K.R. Ganesh, and it's on its way to get published in coming days. Our Hampi University have already published more than 100 various Jain subjects and published the 5 volumes of Jain inscription throughout the state. Here, I heartily congratulate Professor Hampana, who power behind this Jain Epigraphy website project and working along with his Mr. Naveen Sankati in Oxford. Idea behind this project, and Mr. Amog Jain, Bangalore architect of website and many Jain epigraphists. Even happy that the online library of Jain epigraphy is a unique view, because this is book and made to people across world in electronic document form, which consists enormous information about Jain epigraphy across India to facilitate academic community for their studies, research, and also help the general public to read and understand the importance of Jain epigraphical information. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone present on this for giving an opportunity to talk, and once again I appreciate from Hampana and team, even very grateful for being able, as well as representing Kannada University Hampi in this online Jain epigraphy library. Thank you. Namaste.
You have to unmute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Ramesh, sir. We were more than happy to see the 5 volumes, just not in Kannada, but also in Hindi, and you said it's also being translated to English. So we are more than pleased to hear that. And also you're showing keen interest and encouraging the study of Jaina religion and way of life in your university. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite
Naveen,
Can you see Artyaka is there?
she needs to reconnect.
Okay. Sorry for the technical glitch. We are waiting H and Aarti to rejoin us. Viral, can you please follow?
I'm getting in touch with her. So.
May I request Professor Paitro Balgestro to start his talk, please?
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Piotr Balcerowicz. I know it's not easy. You're currently also in Munich, Germany, at the University of Munich in Germany. Yeah, I congratulate on this project. It is an important initiative. At the same time, as Peter Flügel mentioned, I would request that every inscription should be well documented in the sense also of an available high quality image, because when we ask ourselves what purpose such a website serves, it is primarily the scholars, not ordinary people, because they don't know scripts, they cannot read the text, they don't know Prakrits or other ancient languages. So if this website, if this project is of any significant use and contribution, it should primarily also serve researchers. I would greatly appreciate that I could access the website and download high quality images, and then I can work on them. So this is an extremely important factor. It is also very important, I'm very happy to see that such a website is going to work now after a series of publications on Indian inscriptions, in particular on Jain inscriptions. These are very often outdated in the sense that new inscriptions have been found and not always published or not so always easily accessible. So again, this project is most welcome. It is fascinating to see 2 millennia of Jain history inscribed in stone. Probably the earliest such Jain inscription or inscription which relate to Jainism is the long 17 lines long inscription of King Kharavela of Orissa, a fascinating source on the history. Probably we can claim that he was the first royal sponsor of Jainism. So this importance of his inscriptions is significant, of the king who himself claims to be Jain, supporter of Jain, and who also waged a number of extremely bloodthirsty, cruel and brutal wars in the name of Jainism. So this is also an interesting paradox, yeah, an inscription dating back to
Rajat,
BCE. Yes. Yes? There was a
You
question.
know, you please continue.
Yes. Also, as a warning, inscriptions are an extremely valuable source of information for all of us, for researchers. These are, in a way, independent of literature, of literary sources. Literary sources, the manuscripts, which are extremely important, they tend to be reworked. We have lots of evidence that the manuscripts, even if they date back to the 12th century, they do not represent the original text. So here we have an extremely valuable source on Indian history, on the history of Jainism, which is independent of the tradition preserved in manuscripts. It is a second foot on which the whole corpus of our knowledge of ancient Jainism stands. So this is another important factor. Also, when we study inscriptions, it is not enough to reproduce them, to document them, but also to understand them properly in the historical context. As a warning of research which should not be done, perhaps serves the famous inscription of Barli. Barli in close to Ajmer in Rajasthan, which is often quoted as the oldest Jain inscription. But of course, it is this kind of assertion is based on misreading and misrepresentation of the text, of the script. So a solid background, solid paleographic background is also required, an unbiased approach to the contents of these inscriptions, that when we translate them, when we try to understand them, we put them in the proper historical context, unbiased by any belief. So once again, my congratulations on this important project. I hope it will be useful. Also, quite out of selfish reasons, useful to me. I hope that I will benefit from it personally as a researcher sometime in the future, when I can access high quality pictures of inscriptions and can work on them, and also on the history of Jainism, history of India. Thank you so much.
But we could gather what you propose to say, and we want many people become selfish and get into our website and get the material. The research students and the scholars, thank you so much. We'll definitely publish good quality pictures, as Dr. Peter said, and to access for everybody. So I think that comes to the end of this session. And before we forget, over to Hampanaji for Mr. Rise. He had a message to offer. So can we go back to Professor Hampanaji?
I think you have to unmute. Professor Rampana, you have to unmute. We're not able to hear you, sorry.
Well, I have a message from our grandson of Benjamin Louis Rice, who is supposed to be very important person as far as his contribution to inscription, the world of inscription is concerned. You see, when one day it so happened that he was doing a lot of field work, and one day he went to Shravanabelagola, and it was an afternoon, and the sun was burning bright, and then he climbed the small hill called Chandragiri. There he sat, and he felt that something is there on the floor of that the stone, and then he scratched, and then he found one of the earliest inscriptions in Karnataka, and the inscription read about the renunciation of a Jaina saint, you see, who renounced all the terrestrial interest of this is world, and it
Open the
read,
window.
it was in a Chandas, it was a Vrutta. It said, Surachapam bole, Vidyullategala teravol tori, Manjuvol tori, Begam parigum, Shri Rupa Leela Dhana Vibhava Maharashigal Nilla Vargam. Mechanani Dharaniyol Iravanendu, Nandisena Pravara Murin, Devalokakke Sandan. That was the text, and it belonged to 7th century. Well, Rice was excited, and he edited the volume 2 of the Epigraphia Karnataka, and the Epigraphia Karnataka volume 2 is exclusively devoted to the inscriptions of Shravanabelagola. You will be happy to hear that nowhere in the world we find in one particular place nearly 560 inscriptions in different languages and belonging to the different period, commencing from the 6th century to 18th century, spread over a period of nearly 1200 years. The inscriptions in Shravanabelagola are very important, and their contribution to the history of Karnataka, their contribution to the history of India as a whole is enormous and very significant, and therefore we are grateful to Benjamin Louis Rice, and his great grandson is in London, and he was expected to participate. For various reasons, in the last minute he could not make it to reach, and then he has sent his message. I am going to read the message. Jaina Epigraphy website. I and my family are very pleased to learn of the launch of the Jaina Epigraphy website. We realize that my great-grandfather's pioneer work was a major achievement and most remarkable contribution to Jain studies. It is very desirable that his transcriptions of Jaina epigraphs should be widely available, and clearly this must be done by documenting the material electronically. As an educationist, B.L. Rice would have appreciated the use of modern technology to make learning more accessible to everyone, resulting in greater involvement by the community of scholars and students worldwide. The present-day Rice family sent the project a very good wish. Douglas Rice. Well, this is a message from the great grandson of Benjamin Louis Rice. I have one more thing to bring to the kind notice of the audience. It's very important thing that among all the states in India, the highest number of Jaina inscriptions are in Karnataka. Well, in Rajasthan, as I said earlier, there are only about 60 Jaina inscriptions. And the number next to that is in Maharashtra, about 120 inscriptions are there. Next to that, in Andhra, nearly about 135 Jaina inscriptions are there. In Tamil Nadu, of course, there are more than 600 Jaina inscriptions from 2nd century BC to 18th century. But in Karnataka, the Jaina inscriptions, we have, so far scholars have discovered nearly 35,000 inscriptions, out of which nearly 2,000 inscriptions are Jaina inscriptions. This only shows how Jainism flourished in Karnataka. From century to century, it grew from strength to strength. All these details we are able to, authenticate and the inscriptions, they speak themselves about the history of Jainism. We are glad that you have participated in this event, particularly our guests, Piotr Balsarovis, and then Peter Flugel, and honorable guests, Dharmadhikari ji, Karnataka Ratna Virendra Hegde ji, Srimati Hemavati Virendra Hegde ji, and then our Dilip Mehta ji, he is with us, and then other guests are there. We are very, very grateful to them. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you, Acharya Hampanaji. 2,000 inscriptions in Karnataka alone. So you can imagine the kind of work this Jaina Epigraphy group has to put in to at least provide whatever pictures and materials are available with us in this website. Now, I think it's time to end this event with a vote of thanks. This Jaina Epigraphy website is an independent entity. However, we are more than happy to work with like-minded people and organizations. The aim is to spread idea and the bank of knowledge to the people who are interested. We request all of you to make it a very vibrant and an interactive forum by participating and posting your valuable comments. We thank one and all who have been directly or indirectly contributed to this event. We are very pleased that the platforms and the organizations who have shown interest to this project, we thank them all for their support. We thank the gallery of speakers who have exchanged their profound knowledge and educated us in very little time offered to them. Nirmal Sethi, National President, Bharatvasiya Digambar Jain Mahasabha, we thank him. And we also thank Digambar Mahasabha, Rosy Blue Diamond King Dilip Mehta ji, and all the enthusiastic dignitaries who have shown interest and showed a lot of encouragement and love on this website. Last but not the least, the team members led by Naveen Sankigatta from UK, Viral Jain, Shivam, Pratibha Parshnath, and others who have worked tirelessly for this event to happen. Thank you once again. Thank you so much. Namaskara. Jai Jinendra.